What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the tavern. I'm Spencer.
Oh, and I'm Eli. I'm sorry, I'm reading.
And this is Bardic Blunders. What better way to start it off than that? So today, what's up, Razor? Today we got some interesting ones. We got one that is typically out. We're gonna start off with something that's typically not in our Rolodex of talking points, but gosh, it has been fascinating to witness over the past few years. Past few days. I don't know why I said years. That's a interesting slip. It seems we have watched the same critical videos today. I mean, these have been coming out over the last few days, but yes. What's up, group? So, SIG, if anybody is unaware, is a firearms manufacturer. They are
I just got booted off of the Collective Shout website.
That's funny. Okay. Well, yes. SIG. It's SIG. Is it Sauer? Is that how you say the second half of their name? Sawyer. Okay.
Sawyer.
SIG Sawyer. Is a well-known gun manufacturer. You know, I mean, don't really need to know any more than that. They make a lot of guns, and I know there's a lot of their weapons that are like standard police issue or military issue firearms. Well, they're currently having an issue with one of their firearms, the SIG Sawyer P320. It is a handgun that is in use by a lot of law enforcement and military agencies. It is also a handgun that is having issues involving firing when you mess with the slide. If anybody doesn't know anything about guns, typically the gun's not supposed to shoot unless you pull the trigger. So, when you wiggle around the slide a little bit and the gun goes off, that's kind of bad. It's resulted in numerous people firing the gun unintentionally when holstering it. And it also involved, it caused the death of a 21-year-old airman. He was working.
That one sucked.
Yes. Oh no, it's horrid.
Hold on. Wait. No, that would have. Okay, I got a little something to talk about after you get done with this.
Okay,
because
this will be
I had a very interesting time yesterday.
But yeah, so basically what happened is the gun was in the holster. This kid removes the holster from his belt, sets it on the table, and the gun goes off and shoots him in the chest. Yeah, believe it or not, SIG's not exactly popular right now. And there's a lot of law enforcement agencies that have it as an option for standard issue pistols for law enforcement. There's a variety of pistols that law enforcement can pick from. I don't know the exact number, but I know typically it's like, which one do you prefer? Okay, then you can use that, and that's your standard issue pistol.
It's not like that in the military.
No,
keep that in mind.
Military, you don't have that option. They're just like, here you go. Here's your pistol. This is your service pistol. Here's your service rifle. You take care of these like they're part of your body.
No, you take care of them like they're better than your body.
Yeah, yeah, That's more accurate. But yeah, the multiple police departments have been suspending use of this handgun because legitimately, so a YouTuber actually messed around with the gun to figure out what was causing it. It needs less than a millimeter of movement on the trigger for messing with the slide to cause it to go off. And literally, you can watch the video. I gotta get the name of the guy. Wyoming Gun Project on YouTube. Hey Cheese, what's up? Cheese dropping in with 5 messages in the span of 8 seconds. But he literally, he holds it up in front of the camera. He literally just like touches the slide and like moves it back and forth, and the gun goes off. That is insane. Like, that, there's no reason that should be happening. And that's exactly what got that airman killed. There are multiple officers who have reported being shot in the foot, shot in the leg, like, all sorts of things. Issues with this firearm. And it's absolutely crazy to me that that managed to pass every single kind of inspection. How is that possible?
I will tell you one of the reasons why it's possible. Because they're contractors for the government and they just have to meet requirements. They don't have to test the rifle or the gun in any way.
I mean, that's fair, but
it's stupid.
I don't understand how that's acceptable. Like,
because it's all about money.
I mean, yes, it is all about money, but there are just certain things, like, I mean, SIG's trash now. Like, I mean, SIG already kind of had the reputation. I'll be real, I'm not, like, super, you know, like, I'm knowledgeable about guns, but I know a decent bit, and I know a decent bit enough to know that a lot of people who own guns and use guns don't buy SIG. And it's literally a thing, like, do not buy SIG. It is the worst firearm you could possibly buy. But typically,
that's kind of debated because you also have High Point.
Okay, there's High Point, but yes. Of the big name gun brands, because I wager to say there's a lot of people who have heard different brands that make firearms that wouldn't know what High Point is. SIG, though, is, I mean, for crap's sake, it's in all sorts of police departments. SIG is up there with Glock. It's up there, like, it's one of the big ones. So, like, I just, it's insane. But, I mean, SIG has had that reputation of, like, if you're going to go with a big name brand for guns, don't buy SIG. Like, but typically the issues are just like, oh, the gun wears out quicker. Well, like that, it's you know, prone to malfunctions is the issue that SIG has had, where it's like, oh yeah, you use the gun for a little bit and, you know, it starts jamming sooner than other weapons because they're not made as well. That's the typical issue. The issue has not been, oh, I jiggle the slide a little bit and the gun goes off. Like, that's an astronomical leap. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going to get the license for making my own guns, then make my own guns. Oh, you don't even have to do that. Just be 3 guys in a shack making a gun, and then when the government's like, hey, we want to use your gun, rent a warehouse, spread all the parts around the warehouse, make it look like you have a legit operation going on, you'll get a contract with the government.
The UK government.
Okay, yeah. Fair enough. It was the UK. That's one of my favorite stories.
I believe that's where one of the best snipers rifles
it's legitimately one of the
marksman rifles,
best marksman rifles of all time. Came out of 3 dudes in a shack pretending legitimately like the government comes in to check on them. They're like, shoot, they rent a warehouse. They make it look like they have this warehouse operation going on. And they're like, yeah, so this is this is our gun. This is how we made the gun. And they're like, all right, cool, yeah. Well, this was really just a formality to make sure you weren't 3 guys in a shack trying to get a contract with the federal government.
We would never do that.
Yeah, not us.
You gotta watch out for those crazies.
No, believe it or not, Cheese, I have not made a pipe gun. Oh, no, they absolutely should be responsible for the deaths of anybody. Deaths, injuries, like anything, that should be SIG's fault. But instead, SIG is throwing a fit that all these different police agencies are banning the use of their weapon for the time being. They're like throwing a hissy fit. Like, I'm sorry, your gun's not functional. What do you expect? What's up, Bug? Like, you can't sell me a defective product and then get pissed when I don't want to use your defective product anymore. Especially when your defective product is one that can cause so much harm to people. Because, like, yeah, you know what? If the gun was jamming, it had an issue where it's like, yeah, you can cycle about 200 rounds through it, and then it starts jamming, so you need to clean it, and, fit. Like, that's not great. That's not a great gun. It's got an issue. But that issue is infinitesimal compared to, oh, yeah, you put the gun back in your holster, and it shoots. It just goes off. Yeah, what's that? You liked having two eggs and a sausage? That's too bad, man. Hope you didn't want kids. Hope you didn't like that femoral artery in your leg. Like, oh my gosh, dude. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely insane.
I would also like to point out, I'm pretty sure that is the gun that beat the Glock's that beat Glock for the government contract about 10 years ago.
Yep, I'm pretty sure it is.
And all because Glock was like, yeah, we want, because they were making it more for police than they were for the military, and they were like, yeah, we want cops to stop getting stabbed when they reach for their guns.
Right. So, in March...
They put the safety in the trigger.
Yeah. So, in March, SIG made
Son of a bitch! Sorry.
I think I know what happened. That was a little jarring. Did you die? Did you die in your Minecraft world?
Yes, to an iron golem who was angry at me for no reason. I was trying to clear them out of a little area, and he just turned around and just stomped me into the ground. I had full enchanted iron armor, and he one-tapped me.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay. Anyway, in March, Sig Sawyer made a long Instagram post about how safe the gun is. It ends today, the Instagram post said. The P320 cannot, under any circumstances, discharge without a trigger pull. That is a fact. The allegations against the P320 are nothing more than individuals seeking to profit or avoid personal responsibility. We can no longer stay silent while lawsuits run their course and clickbait farming, engagement hacking grifters continue their campaign to hijack the truth for profit, the post said. What's happening today to Sig Sawyer with the anti-gun mob and their lawfare tactics will happen tomorrow to another firearms manufacturer and then another. Pretty bold take there, Sig, considering there is provable evidence that your gun does not function properly. It does sound like a YouTube apology. Legitimately, it sounds so much like a YouTube apology. This anti-gun mob, I'm sorry, it's not the anti-gun mob, it's the ones who own the guns, because they know how it's supposed to work. Like, you should know not to slightly jiggle your gun. Yeah, what instance would that ever happen in? Like,
Here.
my god.
I'm slightly jiggling my gun and it's not discharging.
Imagine we heard just bang. And then, like, a slumping noise.
Nothing.
Oh my god.
Nothing at all. Cheese, I own a Glock. I like the Austrians.
But I mean, that's the way. Like, it's such an insane. Like, I can't believe it. I don't know.
It is a Glock 2240.
I can't fathom this kind of incredible failure. Like, imagine if you just went to get out into your car, and there was like a 20% chance that if you turned the key in slightly the wrong manner, your car just exploded. I'm surprised he owns a gun. Even less surprised he has it on his desk next to his mouse or something.
Group, it's in the drawer next to my mouse.
Oh boy. But yeah, like that's such an. I'm describing the Cybertruck. The Cybertruck doesn't outright explode, though. I mean, it's still a terrible car, but the Cybertruck is about what I was equating, like, oh yeah, the gun jams if you use it. If you cycle 200 rounds through it, the gun jams. Like, that's the kind of issue that you could see happening with a firearm. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't, because you should be releasing a quality product, but it's at least not a catastrophic issue. It's just a, oh, well, this gun is bad kind of issue. Like, the gun just firing is, it's insane.
I mean, let's look at the AK-47.
Oh,
a
my
rifle
gosh.
made to be ran over by a tank.
You can
and still be picked up and fired.
Beat the ever-loving piss out of an AK-47, and it will still shoot. I watched... There's a guy I watch on YouTube named Kentucky Ballistics. He did a torture test with the AK-47. He left one in the bottom of a lake for 100 days, I think? He froze one in a block of ice. He buried one for 100 days. He had one control, and
that is one of the Glocks that does that. I don't remember which one, but one of the Glocks does have that issue.
Firing, causing it to fire again?
It basically turns into a fully automatic pistol.
Yeah, it's the who was it that I watched that figured that out, where if you pushed the trigger in just the right amount, it literally, because it's in that specific range where the gun recoils and the recoil causes the gun to shoot again. So literally you just have to hold your finger in the right spot and you can full auto.
Yeah. And you can do it with a zip tie on a drone, but don't do that, kids.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, no, YouTube added a new feature. I don't understand why. It doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, yeah, moral of the story with the AK, every single one of them functioned as normal. Like not a single one ended up having any issues. So, yeah, AK, you can beat the tar out of those things and they will still function just like new.
Yeah. That's why they were so popular in the Soviet Union, because you only had to buy them once.
Well, and you could when the guy in front of you dies, you can pick up the rifle and keep going. Doesn't matter if it fell in the mud, doesn't matter if it got soaked in blood, doesn't matter if it got shot, it will keep working for you.
Yeah. It,
Also,
I
funny enough, super easy to mass produce.
it's super easy to take care of, as it turns out.
Right. It's the funniest.
Because there's only two parts that actually break on the AK. And that is the magazine,
The mag and is it
the
stock?
sights.
The sights.
Yep. Because as it turns out, when you attach the sights to the barrel and then you run it through the mud, you're gonna damage the sights.
Yep. It's still insane they actually fought wars with less guns than soldiers. I mean, when you have 2 million guns and 200 million people. You forgot the third, the thing you aim at. Oh boy.
But SIG just... I own a SIG handgun too. We have one at the house.
Ooh. Uh-oh. Be careful.
I don't like it. It's an older model SIG, so it's not that one. I do not like it. It just does not feel good in my hands. But I have really weird shaped hands to be firing handguns.
That's fair. I think my favorite handgun that I've ever fired is the CZ Shadow.
Okay.
It oh my gosh, it was so smooth. That or the Beretta.
Yeah, Berettas feel really nice.
Oh my gosh,
Walter,
dude. The Beretta was
Walters also feel very good if you get the right model.
Don't remember if I fired that one.
It's very forgettable is the funniest part, but it's an extremely good concealed carry weapon.
I've
Because
fired a
they only chamber it in 9 mil, so.
Oh, okay. I've fired a 357. That was fun. I want to. There's a place over in Orlando called Machine Gun America that I want to go to because they have Deagles, they have 44s, they have fully automatic like assault rifles. I know assault rifles not a legit term, but so people they have AK-47s, they have M4s, they have M1 Garands. I want to fire an M1 Garand so bad. Oh my gosh, dude.
I will say though, the best handgun I have ever fired was the 1911.
I haven't fired a 1911.
Chambered in 10 millimeter.
I've not fired a 10 mil.
So it's a very interesting handgun because it's a military service weapon
Right.
from the 80s. So it is not the newer military handguns that won't fire if you get them a little bit dirty.
Oh, well, yeah.
It has also been modified. Legally modified. Let me put that out there.
Legally.
Legally modified.
Yeah, no, that's I do love myself some firearms. I love shooting guns, but good grief, SIG just blew my mind. Gotta specify for the ATF. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they might show up and shoot my dog.
It's legal. It's legal.
They might. Yeah, I lost all my guns in a boating accident. I'm sorry, ATF.
Yeah, I don't have them anymore. But you know what shouldn't be legal? What Collective Shout is doing right now. So for anybody who hasn't seen this story, recently there is a feminist group titled Collective Shout that don't we all?
They've been around for some time.
They have been around for some time, but they're making some noise recently because they are very much not Collective Soul. That's the rock band. That recently what they've gone after is adult games on Steam. Now, you obviously, you know me, I'm not against that concept of not allowing adult games onto a platform like Steam, but it's the way that they got them removed that I have an issue with. And that's them leveraging the payment processing companies to pull out of Steam, threaten to pull out of Steam if Steam does not get rid of games. So the big one that was targeted, a bunch of others were okay. Group. A bunch of other games got hit as collateral, but the main game that got most of the backlash was No Mercy, which, again, I find disgusting as a product, but oh, they got Fear and Hunger removed as well? But, okay, so No Mercy, just to keep it short and try not to trip YouTube censors, think of the fruit that comes in red and green. Grapes. Everybody loves grapes, right? Remove the G from the start of that word, and nobody loves that. But this game contained that and incest. So, yeah, you know what? In my opinion, not a game that should exist. But forcing payment processors, or forcing Steam to get it removed with the threat of the payment processors not supporting the platform anymore, is a dangerous precedent to set, especially because they've started threatening other legitimate games. They've gotten a bunch of adult games like that removed from Steam, but they've also levied threats against Detroit Become Human. Yes, mouthwashing from itch.io. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to go after Baldur's Gate 3. But like Detroit Become Human, they're like, oh, there's violence against women in that game. Yeah, it's not being glorified. It's outright telling you that that's the bad guy. Like, what are we doing here? So, by their logic, women shouldn't be in video games. Because what if that woman is somehow discriminated against? Or what if she's put in harm's way? What if she has a character arc where she has to go through hardships? That's all bad. That discriminates against women. Like, they've lost the plot. And yeah, it was quite surprising to me to learn they were right-leaning. Because typically you hear feminist and you think left-leaning, you know, oh, it's those woke feminists. But no, they're right-leaning. And the craziest part about it is they've defended stuff like cuties. They've defended like straight up, screw it, I'm not censoring myself. They defended pedophiles. Like, legitimately. It's insane what this organization is, and somebody's got to step in and stop it. There has to be a line drawn, because, well, yeah, I'm not for adult content in that sense. I think it's bad. I think it negatively affects the people who view it. To take these sort of underhanded tactics, in a sense, to get rid of it, it becomes this thing. No, don't get it wrong, Bug. It is also feminism. Like, yes, they are fundamentalist Christian groups, but it is also feminism, because there's a lot of the games they've targeted, they're starting to turn their sights on, saying, oh, it encourages violence against women. And, like, okay, yeah, what about Last of Us? What, because you play as Ellie? That game's bad because she has to go through difficult things? What about Metroid? Is Metroid not cool because the main character's a woman? So just don't put women in your video games. Just don't do it. Oh, is that better? Is that better? We pretend women don't exist? Like, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me. It's an Australian group as well. We approached payment processors because Steam did not respond. Of course Steam didn't respond, because it's a freaking retarded proposal. Like, yeah, you know what? Maybe those adult video games shouldn't be on Steam, but
They've also gone against Tyler, the Creator.
oh, really? They're also trying to ban adult content on X, which, again, I don't agree with it. I do think there has been adult content seeping into places it shouldn't be, aka, well, okay, aka is not what I meant to say, but YouTube has had an issue with this recently, where YouTube has a category that it considers educational that is called it's women cleaning things wearing see-through clothing. And it's labeled as educational, and quite often not even restricted to 18 plus, and is being pushed to kids. That is vile. I'm sorry, that's terrible. And YouTube's got my ire right now because of that. So yes, I do think there's a lot of adult content spreading to places that it shouldn't be, but this is not the way to go about it, and this is not the organization to carry out something like that. Yo, yeah, no, YouTube's issues are not recent. It's their issue is ever changing, where they're like, yeah, we dealt with that Elsa Gate thing. It's like, yeah, that Elsa Gate thing was almost a decade ago now, YouTube. You're having other problems that you're ignoring. How about we talk about the bots in the YouTube comment sections that are spreading scams and adult content? How about we talk about all the YouTube videos that are being posted that are essentially just advertisements for OnlyFans that are completely accessible to kids? And then on the flip side, you get the, oh, well, we need to protect the kids, so we're going to, like, the freaking, what is it that's trying to get passed in the UK right now? Like, Protect the Kids Act, kind of. It's basically, you need an ID to log on to any site on the internet. Any site that might have 18 plus content, you need to have an ID. And that includes things like YouTube and stuff like that. It's not even just adult websites that contain, you know, pornographic material. I'm gonna stop trying to dodge YouTube. I don't even care. Not even websites, not even porn sites. It's not just that. It's legitimately any site where there might be some, for Steam, that has 18 plus M-rated games. You'd have to have an ID or a facial scan. So you either have to give up your biometrics or your information. Like, so, and something like that is being proposed in the US right now. So it's this multifaceted issue where adult content is being pushed to places it shouldn't be, and as a result, they're trying to be like, well, we need to protect the kids in these spaces, so we need to, get everybody's information. No. That kind of content should be cracked down on. It shouldn't be allowed on YouTube. Kids should be moved over to YouTube Kids, like it was supposed to be. All children's content should not be on the main YouTube website. It should be restricted to YouTube Kids. How did alcohol prohibition go? Terribly. Like, and all sorts of adult content should be on adult content websites. Like, it shouldn't be that hard. And I understand there's obviously other things involved with it. Like, yeah, no, it's not really about protecting the kids. It's about money, spying on people, yeah, getting people's information. It's that kind of stuff. Obviously, I'm not.
To be honest with you, if this stuff starts going through, I will just get off the internet.
Yeah. Well, yeah. At that point, there's no what do you gain from being on the internet at that point?
I'm not gonna put in an ID to get on the internet. I hate to break it to you. I'll just go to the library.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so many issues with stuff like that, and
I'll go back to having a flip phone.
Right now, Collective Shout is, while not the main issue, it is one of the big issues. And yeah, it's an interesting world, but I'm the guy to find a way around it. That I am as well, group. That's what I am also. I also fall into that boat. Oh, you're going to restrict me from this in some sort of way? All right. You won't be able to do it forever. I'll find a way through it. If I'm determined enough. But anyways, we can get off that more serious topic and go to one that is while still I don't know if concerning is the right word. It's still prevalent, but it's not as heavy as something like that. AAA companies are having some issues right now. And we've talked about this numerous times, of course. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I want to give my government ID and my biometrics to a porn site. That's a great idea. Oh, they don't have any issues. I've always had major issues, but I've started asking even more questions since Texas and Florida started cracking down on child material. And Pornhub went, oh, well, then we're not going to operate in your state anymore. What did you mean by that? Why is that an issue? Huh? That's what you took issue with? Well, what are you doing? What are you doing behind the scenes? Like, I started asking a whole lot more questions when that happened. Yeah, you hadn't heard that, Cheese? That legitimately, like, when states started putting up more strict punishments and more strict, like, protections against CSM, that website was just like, well, we're not going to operate there anymore. Okay, can we investigate them, please? Like, that's the most concerning response that you could have possibly had to that.
Oh. Fuck. Ow. I just dislocated my wrist. Ow.
Eli, can you wait until after the show to do that? Like,
oh.
Also, you're going so hard that you dislocate your wrist?
Oh. I wonder, does it pick it up? Probably not. But my whole wrist is like popping, and I was just like scratching my ankle, and I just felt pop, and then like needles up my arm.
Scratching your ankle. That's a new one. Put that one in with badgering the witness. Doing the 5-finger shuffle. No lie,
no.
Badgering the witness is my favorite euphemism for that.
I was, no joke, scratching my ankle and felt my wrist pop out. Razor, no, I'm not going to the hospital. I'll be fine. I got it back in.
Eli could have 6 bones exposed, and he'd just be like, nah, it'll heal on its own.
Okay, this is my rule. I will not go to the hospital unless I can see the bone and definitely tell it's broken.
Mm-hmm. So if you're like
because
forearm
I have seen my bones,
and your
if my forearm snapped and I can clearly see that it's broken, I can't really fix that on my own. I'm going to the hospital. But like when I sliced my thumb open, I could see the bone. I just super glue it back together and close it. It's fine.
So he doesn't even follow his own rule.
It wasn't broken. I could tell that it was not broken.
It's not broken. I just cut my hand to the bone. That's fine. That's normal. Doesn't everybody do that on a daily basis? See, like, if I had accidentally dislocated something just sitting here, it wouldn't even be that crazy because I actually have a reason for having that kind of issue. My joints just do that. See, the thing is, the healthcare isn't that bad. Eli just refuses to use it.
That is also true.
The healthcare is good. It's expensive, but the healthcare.
If I have a fever, keep this in mind, guys. If I have a fever, I have to get to, I think the number is 11 degrees over my baseline temperature before I will go to see a doctor.
Well, that's also because you run at like 93 degrees. So
yeah,
if you go into a doctor at 98 degrees, they're not going to be like, "Oh, you're sick." They're going to be like, "Your temperature's normal."
Yeah, that's why I won't go for a fever. Now, if it's 140, I draw the line there.
Yeah, well, yeah. My line is, so when I had pneumonia, I went into the urgent care to start. I got, like, typical antibiotics. My fever was probably about 100.1 when I went in initially, because I was like, something's wrong. I'm hacking a lung out. I'm not feeling great. I got the antibiotics, and it was like 2 days on, and my fever had gone over 102, and it was at like 102.8, and I said to myself, if I hit 103, I'm going into the hospital. I don't care if I'm already on antibiotics. 103 is insane. 104 is like you're pushing death at that point.
Yeah. I've worked on 103-degree fever.
You're insane.
It was not a very good night, I will give you that one.
No, of course not. I can't practically hold myself up when my fever's that high. Granted, once again...
And there were multiple times I did go into the walk-in freezer, which is negative 40 degrees, and stand there.
Once again...
I also have such a low blood pressure that most anesthetics do not really take effect on me.
Yeah. You've got all sorts of issues. I wonder why that wasn't a good... Yeah, right? Legit. Like, what? Good grief, man.
The funniest part was I went up to my manager. I was like, hey, I'm running 103-degree fever. Can I go home? And I was told no. We need you. So I was like, okay, fine. If I black out on the line, I'll get workman's comp for this.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you how that works. You say, I have 103-degree fever. I'm going home.
And they were like, can you prove it? As I'm standing there with the thermometer that says 103 degrees.
Yeah, you could have sued them for that. They can't question that kind of stuff. But it's sick days.
Hey group, what's a sick day?
Yeah, restaurants don't have sick days. It's, are you throwing up? Do you have jaundice? No? You're coming into work.
Yep.
The one exception to that was coronavirus.
Correct, and that's when you had to isolate for 2 weeks, which was the funniest thing ever, when everybody's calling and saying, oh, I have the Rona, and everyone's like, and all the restaurants were like, well, we're gonna need proof, because if not, this is gonna really suck.
And I didn't even have it. I was throwing up. I wasn't coughing. I didn't have corona. I had some sort of like stomach flu that I had recovered from, and I come in and he's just like, nah, you need to leave. You gotta leave. We can't have you here. I'm like, I don't have. He's like, nope, don't care. You got it. We need a coronavirus test. I'm like, okay. No, I didn't. It didn't change much. I went home and played video games a whole bunch. Believe it or not. I was kind of pissed though, because I walked in like 3 days later after getting in to get a corona. Because at the time it was the middle of the pandemic, and it wasn't just like go to Walmart, pick up a coronavirus test. You had to get in with a doctor, and there was hundreds of other people getting the test. So,
one of my favorite examples of when coronavirus was really bad was somebody at my house got it, and I hadn't seen them in weeks because they were at school and I was at work, and I worked at night, they were at school during the day. I hadn't seen them. I was like, do I have to isolate? And they're like, well, when was the last time you saw them? And I was like, oh, this long. They're like, I just sleep at the store, you'll be fine.
yeah.
And I stayed for 3.5 weeks sleeping on the unfinished floor of a restaurant while we were doing construction on it. And then I went and stayed at my brother's house after he got cleared, which that was also fun because I got to sleep on a couch after 3 weeks. Best sleep I've had in my life.
Jeez, how? I don't get Cheese posted something in the Discord, says he ripped something off of his chair.
Oh, jeez, did you make that bracelet?
Angie. Oh no, I was looking at it while we were telling the coronavirus stories.
The worst part is, I'm sitting here like, man, I really wish that would come back so I could take off of work for an extended period of time and get free money.
Yeah, it'd be great, wouldn't it? Taking long periods of time off of work and getting paid for it, don't you love it? I can tell you from experience, that has a limit. Make sure. Yeah,
The funniest thing about this, Crumpets, is Spencer Crumpet, I'm tired. I don't know why. I am not a very social person.
Oh, no.
And I can do, but it's funny to me because it's like you and me have two different views on it. It's like you went for what? It was like 6 months for your surgery and stuff?
It was May of 2023 that I was let off work for my injury. It was the week after Black Friday that I got back. So yeah,
6 months.
6 months.
I could probably do that and not change anything about me. Is the saddest part about it.
See, you think that, but you have to think of it from the perspective of you are injured. Specifically, my arm is injured. So it's like I could not go there's a lot of things that I couldn't do. I couldn't just go work out. I couldn't, like go like throw the football around with somebody or like hang out in any sort of way like that. Especially after my surgery. I mean, you remember it. We'd go hang out. We'd be out for like an hour and I'd be like, I need to go home. Like it's exhausting, and it gets to the point where there's you get bored of playing video games, you get bored of watching stuff. It's just like you're like mainly the big thing is you're just like I want my arm to function again, but the pretty much constantly being at home because you get exhausted going out anywhere also gets old.
I get exhausted going out anywhere as is, so.
All right.
You've known me for so long. I am the most antisocial person. I find people bothersome.
I get that. The thing you're not considering is I'm the same way, and for about the first 2 months, 3 months, I'll say that it didn't really start setting in until after my surgery. So for about the first 3 months, I was like, this is awesome. I get to sit at home. I get to play video games all day. I started streaming around that time because I was just like, well, I got nothing else to do. That's why I started streaming. Because I was legitimately like, I'm just sitting on my ass doing nothing. And playing video games by myself is getting boring. Because, like, I'd played through a bunch of video games. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh. Everything, I was getting driven insane.
Group, that's really funny.
That is funny. Because
it's 100% true.
I had a backlog of shows that I watched all of. Like, you know, because if I look at it from what I do on a normal basis, yeah, pretty much, I'll go out certain places. Like, I like going yard sailing, I like going thrifting, things like that. But I'm not a big, like, let's go shopping all day. Like, you know, let's go stand in the store for 3 hours. Like, no. I want to go in. I want to look at what they have. If I like something, I buy it, and we leave. Did anyone get banned in your month off? No. But I do very much like sitting at home. But there gets to be a point when you've sat at home for 3 months straight. It was really the worst of it was the 6 weeks that I had to wear that big bulky brace.
I could see that being a pain in the ass.
That was especially where it got to me the most, because it was like I can't move my arm. So obviously nobody here but you has seen that brace that I had to wear. It is, so you think of the typical sling that you get when you injure your shoulder, you know, oh, it wraps around your shoulder, you just kind of lay your arm in it and it sits there. This one, there was a big foam block. Peace out, Cheese. Thanks for hanging out. It was this big foam block. So it was like that foam isn't the right term. It's kind of like a pillow, but it was a very stiff block. It wasn't like, you know, the pillow you sleep on at night. It was, you know. But anyways, that sat in between my arm and my body and like laid against my body. I had the sling wrapped around my arm. I had a whole like pretty much like a belt that had to go around my body, clip from the back of the sling to the opposite side of the big block. I had one that went over my left shoulder, and I believe where was the other one? Was it, did it go around my neck? I can't remember. But regardless, it was this whole apparatus, and I could not move my arm for 6 weeks. So if you go back and you listen to like the Dark Souls, the old, like within the first month of my streams, I am sitting there. Oh, okay. I'd have to hold on. I have to verify that. Because I don't know that it's exactly the first month. live. Okay, no, not quite. So it was. You can see the distinct stop in my streams because it's just like daily streaming up until. Yeah, there it is. July 21st, and then I had my surgery on the 24th. And I didn't stream again until the 31st, and that was a NHL tournament where I'm not even playing the game. So from the NHL alumni tournament through Dark Souls 3, Spyro, Halo, one of the Bucks games, another one of the Bucks games. Yeah. So until like early September of 2023, I'm streaming with my arm in a sling. And so I've got this setup where I have the controller just like down on the left side of my body with my left shoulder kind of flared out to the side to make it comfortable, and my arm just laying against my body so I could play the game. And if I'm playing a game on the computer, I sat down at my computer chair, I took the unclipped the sling from around my shoulder and would move my arm at the elbow over to the mouse, and then move the mouse around using like only my wrist and keeping my shoulder in place. It was such a nightmare. I do not wish anybody to have to go through that, because that was so annoying. I'd rather not be able to walk for multiple weeks than have to do something like that with my arm again, because it was so much more restrictive with my arm than my leg. Like, obviously leg, I couldn't walk, but
there's ways to get around without walking.
There's ways to get around without walking. There's a lot of things you just straight up can't do when your arm isn't functional.
Yeah. Like, I was still going to school on a broken ankle.
Yeah. I went to school on a torn ligament in my ankle. You can crawl? Yeah, that is an option. I don't think it'd be my intended or my preferred method of travel were I to injure my leg. Shut up, phone. Oh gosh, but what was the thing you said you wanted to mention after?
Oh yeah. So I had to pick up my father from the airport yesterday.
Okay.
He went to visit his girlfriend in North Carolina, came back down. I'm sitting there in the phone call parking lot for Tampa International Airport. And I look in the rearview mirror and I see a car that has the Veteran Affairs logo on it.
Uh-huh.
Or the VA. And I was like, that's weird. Why is the VA here at the airport? And I'm looking a little bit more. I'm like, a car moves out of the way. I'm go, oh, that's why they're there. Can you take a guess at what kind of car was sitting there?
Cop car?
Nope.
Like
well, there were cop cars there, so I can't say you're wrong, but like not the VA cops.
A 3-letter agency car?
Nope. It was a hearse.
Oh! Someone dead.
Yeah, and they had a 32 police vehicle escort with them. And I was like, ooh, something happened. And I'm like trying to leave the parking lot and I'm like dodging cops. I'm like, ew, I need to get out of here. I don't want to get caught behind this.
Oh boy. Yikes.
And normally when I'm at the airport, no, it was on a plane group. Um, I break a lot of the traffic laws at the airport because they're stupid. 100% honest with you, I break a lot of the traffic laws there where it says no left-hand turn. I immediately take a left-hand turn because it's just faster. Um, I broke 0 traffic laws leaving that parking lot and getting up to the pickup. And I was like, oh man, this is gonna be. I'm like, I am glad the plane landed and got everybody off the ground before they started the procession because that takes a long time.
Goodness.
Because they will stop all flight traffic on the ground and they will come unload the coffin on straight onto the hearse on the tarmac.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, "Oh man, this airport's about to go bonkers." But I was like, "Man, this was a fun little thing that I should talk about on the podcast."
Fun is
Also,
not the word I'd use to describe it, but sure.
I would avoid Tampa International Airport for a little bit. There's construction going on.
I had no plans to fly anywhere, so I guess I'm fine. I'll just go to Orlando International Airport. Why is
Yeah,
yours
that works.
fun? That's a great question, Pug. But anyways, so yeah, we talking on the failure of AAA companies. We've done it before. We've done it a lot recently as AAA has gone into the toilet. But specifically one of the big ones I want to talk about is Xbox. They put the fun in funeral. Oh boy. Xbox is not doing so hot. They just had a round of layoffs. Um, as many as 9,000 employees. A lot, a lot, a lot. They canceled the Perfect Dark. I don't know if it was a remake or a new game in the franchise, whatever it was. From the Initiative, which was the studio, they closed said studio. Rare's Everwild, announced in 2019, was canceled. Forza Motorsport developer turned 10 Studios is losing 70 employees and also canceling the Forza Motorsport series. They did bring games back to 70 instead of 80, but that seems like a band-aid on a bursting dam. Like they're in a rough spot right now.
Yeah.
There is no shot. Oh my gosh. One executive producer at Xbox has a solution to help reduce the emotional and cognitive load that comes with job loss. Seek advice from AI chatbots. Wow. Uh, Romero Games is closed, which I believe is that the that's like John Romero, right? The maker of Doom. Blizzard is winding down support for its Warcraft mobile game. Yeah, just it's not a good state for Xbox. Um, they're I don't know. They're kind of falling apart at the seams, exactly like we've predicted of the AAA industry. It's too expensive to make these games. It's they're not profiting, one because they have so many freaking employees. I think the gaming industry is still experiencing the consequences of their overhiring during the pandemic.
Yeah.
The game companies just mass hired people in that time, and I think that's why we've seen so many layoffs over the past few years, as companies are like, oh shoot, we don't need this many employees anymore, we can't afford this, sweeping layoffs. So it's just,
Yeah.
I mean, it was predictable. It's not necessarily surprising, but I know there were other game industry layoffs. Who else was laying off? I don't remember. Ubisoft had a number. Oh, Virtuos. That was another studio that laid off 250 people at the beginning of this month. Yeah, no doubt. It's legitimately we need to squeeze out as much profit from this before uh before we
Before
just
things go bad.
before we just straight up pull out.
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna be. Like, oh, this is becoming less and less profitable. Let's slowly diminish this to keep it as profitable as we can until the point that we're like, okay, now's the time to jump out. Did I see the V Shoujo tweet? Oh my gosh, this is insane. Yeah, okay, absolutely. We can talk about that. Let's I okay. So, have you seen all this?
No. What?
So, V Shoujo is a VTuber agency. I should say was a VTuber agency. Um, I talked about this briefly in one of my other streams. I don't remember. Um, basically, what happened was V Shoujo. You know Iron Mouse, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you were telling me about that not too long ago.
Okay, I was talking to you about it. Yeah. So the whole thing with the like 500 million or whatever it was that or 500K, I'm pretty sure I might be wrong. Okay, let me double check that uh numeric amount. I wanted to say 500 million, but I think I might be. I think it might be 500K. Shoujo. 500,000. Okay, it is 500K. I was right. It wasn't 500 million. 500K. 500K was meant to go to charity, the Immunodeficiency Foundation, which is Iron Mouse's charity foundation she associates with, because she is she has such a extreme immunodeficiency that she practically can't leave her house. That's why she is a streamer. That's why, you know, it's why she does what she does, because it's pretty much her only way to make money. She can't have a regular job. Well, V Shoujo was her agency, and typically, V Shoujo was well respected for its talent first motto. V Shoujo doesn't own the name, image, and, you know, like VTuber model, the name, the brand, everything like that. They don't own that of any of the VTubers that were working under them. So it's very different from all the other VTuber agencies. Like Niji Shanji is one that I've heard of that has been in so many different controversies. And let's be real, I only know of these because they've been in massive controversies, which is what's so kind of funny, kind of not funny. But basically, long story short, after the Iron Mouse thing, a bunch of other VTubers came out and were like, yeah, they haven't been giving us money, we're all pulling out. And it legitimately was like overnight, they went from the biggest VTuber agency to dead. Legitimately dead company. It was so absolutely insane how quick that turnaround was. Well, just a couple days ago, the CEO of V Shoujo put out a statement on Twitter. V Shoujo has failed, and I've mismanaged the company into the situation you're all witnessing. So today, I am sharing the difficult news that V Shoujo is shutting down, and I take full responsibility for the decisions that led up to this point. I've been doing everything I can to fundraise and right the ship these past few months, but despite my efforts, we are in a worse position, and those I care about are now paying the price. Over the past few years, we raised around $11 million to pursue a bold, talent-first approach in VTubing, prioritizing creators and community over short-term profits to achieve long-term sustainability. Our funding went directly to our creators through generous splits, debut investments, infrastructure, concerts, events, and staffing. Excuse me, all designed to support them. We also wanted talent to own their IP, which we knew was a unique creator-first approach for an agency. However, despite all of our efforts, the business failed to generate the revenue we needed to sustain that model, and eventually we ran out of money. Initially, I acknowledged that some of the money spent by the company was raised in connection with the talent activity, which I later learned was intended for a charitable initiative. At this time, we were working hard to raise additional investment capital to cover our costs, and I firmly believe, based on the information available to us, that we would be able to do so and cover all expenses. We were unsuccessful in our fundraising efforts. I made the decision to pursue funding, and I own its consequences. I am deeply sorry to all the talent, staff, friends, and community members who believed in our brand. You did not deserve this. Justin, Gunrun. He just straight up admitted to crimes. Just outright.
But he has money, so nothing bad will happen.
He doesn't have money. He's broke.
Well, then he's probably going to jail for a long time.
Yeah, that's exactly the thing. V Shoujo is broke. Yeah, no, he gets so exposed by the freaking what's it called? The community note. Justin claims to not know the purpose of the funds, but he personally congratulated Iron Mouse on the completion of her charity fundraising event and reposted Ludwig directly mentioning that half the funds would go to charity. He knew full well he misappropriated those funds for charity that were meant for charity. Like, oh my gosh, dude. And then he straight up admits it. It is insane to me. Going into the comments too, Iron Mouse, you broke my heart, my spirit, and my trust. Zentria, who I only know because of, oh my gosh, that's a whole paragraph. I only know of Zentria because she plays with Ray. She's the one who has that like
Voiceover.
voiceover, like the
Text to speech.
text to speech. Yes, thank you. This is corporate suicide on a different level, dude. It's insane. Zentria says, I've been trying to figure out what to say. Why did you keep dodging my messages and concerns? When I wanted to do one-on-ones, you kept dodging, or you gave me a short corporate answer. Even when I was under immense pressure from the community for answers about the auditions, and I pleaded for a statement by your PR team, you told me it wasn't needed. You made a tiny video instead, looking like you were hurt and upset, saying sorry, instead of meeting me one-on-one for my concerns. And I was left crying and frustrated, like a effing dog. I went back and happy to even get something from you because, oh man, boss actually answered me. You wanted one finally. You wanted one finally when you knew everything was crashing around you. Then debuting new talents and such, even after the community kept asking about it and kept waving it off and letting me take the punches. I smiled, I brushed it off, and I kept pushing the company because I was hopeful for new talent and bringing new people to help. Instead, I find you are hiring people without input and poaching without even the idea of truly helping them other than financial gain. We didn't even know who you were bringing in. You and the team told us just to take it. You and some people were really ready for me to be thrown under over and over. Even when Amelie joined, I begged you to put a statement regarding auditions before she announced her debut stream. You gave us the middle finger. Me and Amelie had to put out a statement because your PR team was unfit for their job. I took it all. Why did we have to say anything at all? Why did I have to keep taking the damage over and over? You were hurting me well before this. You know you have. I've been pushing a company so blindly who didn't even care for me. But I'm an idiot and I kept believing. I was so excited for this. I spent sleepless nights dealing with constant harassment. And you spent money which you spent money which you didn't even have without even warning us on who knows what. And you knew and you knew, don't even lie, you knew that money was for charity and was supposed to be placed to the side to be untouched. Where did $11 million go in less than 3 years even? What happened to all that money? I'm just really tired from all these years of trying to push for something that kept pushing me to the wolves. I was so stupid, but I was so excited. I really trusted you. We all did. Despite everything, I don't wish you any ill will. I just hope you find some way to make this right. What if I just stop paying our talents and say sorry afterwards? Yeah. Dude, it's like it's insane. It is absolutely insane. I'm like, obviously I'm not in tune with the VTuber thing because I don't really watch VTubers. It's not my thing. I get people enjoy it. I also get some people enjoy it way too much and are like, the anime girl that I see is the actual real person, and they're definitely not dating anybody, and they definitely love me. There's too many people like that online. Um, but like, gosh dang, I don't think you need to be in tune with the VTubing scene to like understand just how deplorable that is. Oh my god, yeah, no, straight up. V Shoujo was well liked. It's the one because I back when Sanji had their big, it was last year, right? That they had the big controversy. I don't even remember what it was about at this point, but they had some issue where they were heavily abusing talents, and most people were like, "Oh, go to V Shoujo. V Shoujo's the good one." And then it took one post by Iron Mouse, and the entire thing collapsed. That is insane.
Oh.
Oh boy.
You got your quote?
Oh, I don't.
Well, I found a long quote, so you have some time.
Good, good.
From Terry Pratchett. Over the centuries, mankind has tried many ways of combating evil forces. Prayer, fasting, good works, and so on. Up until Doom, no one seemed to have thought about the double-barrel shotgun. Eat leaden death, demon.
I like that eat leaden death demon. That's good. Uh,
Okay, hold on. I gotta check something in Minecraft.
you could build a prison of stone and steel, but you merely present the prisoner with a challenge. Any truly determined man will find a way out of it. Find a way out. But love's the perfect prison. Inescapable. Wilson Fisk, Daredevil Season 3. Oh, love it. I love it.
Yeah?
You know what? In the same vein, let's
What? What? Hello?
Hi.
You're there?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, you were reading Razor's quote. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was Razor's quote. That's why I was like, in the same vein, I'll do mine. What do you do? What do you do? You act like it's a playground. You beat up the bullies with your fists, you throw them in jail, and everybody calls you a hero, right? In a month, a week, a day later, they're back on the streets doing the same damn thing. You hit them and they get back up. I hit them and they stay down. Punisher from season 2 of Daredevil. That's my boy, the Punisher. I was trying to find the one that he does. Oh, there it is. I did it because I liked it. Hell, I loved it. I'm just itching. I'm itching to do it again when he's up on the stand. Oh. They couldn't have picked a better actor for that. John Bernthal pulled that off so well. I freaking hated him in The Walking Dead. Obviously because his character was an ass, but he was a good actor in that. I'm not going to deny that. But gosh, as the Punisher, freaking awesome.
Great choice.
Yeah, perfect. But anyways, I think that's all we got for today. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I will be back tomorrow. We're continuing our nighttime streams. Need to catch up on your Marvel shows. I can't levy any sort of suggestions when it comes to the Disney Plus shows. I can tell you season 1 of Loki is good. I never watched season 2.
Season 2 was also good.
Okay. Moon Knight was not bad. It wasn't perfect. I have issues with it, but I think it's mostly entertaining and it mostly does the character justice. But I feel like the show could have been better. But yeah, Daredevil, absolutely awesome. Season 1 of Luke Cage, freaking fantastic. Season 1 of Jessica Jones, incredible. We don't
Yep.
we don't talk about Iron Fist. Season 2 of Jessica Jones also isn't bad. I mostly like season 2 of Luke Cage, but I have some big issues with it. Especially the
Yes.
ending. The ending is really
The ending is rough. The Defenders was pretty good, but
yeah.
Defenders was also rough.
Yeah,
It had rough points.
mainly because of Iron Fist. It's just not a good Iron Fist.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the Marvel shows I can speak on. The other ones, outside of the obvious ones that everyone knows is bad, like She-Hulk and Ironheart,
Yeah.
those ones are bad. I also heard that what was it, Falcon and the Winter Soldier wasn't that great either.
There were a lot of good moments in it, but not.
It was just generally boring.
Yeah.
And I remember
They brought Zemo back, which is cool and all, but Zemo was a great villain for that specific movie.
right. Oh yeah, WandaVision. A lot of people like that. I never watched that.
WandaVision, I was good. My father really liked Agatha, but I didn't watch all. I did not really care for WandaVision because I was not the biggest fan of Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, I wasn't huge on Scarlet Witch. I was also like not huge on Marvel at that point.
Yeah.
Like I only watched Loki on a whim. Like me and my dad watched it. We were like, we decided to watch. We were on vacation. We decided to watch episode 1, and we were like, well, this is different, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's trying something new. Like it wasn't incredible, but it was interesting. Yeah, I also heard the new Fantastic Four is good. I also heard Thunderbolts was good. But I'm just like, I'm so burned out on that Marvel style of writing that
Yeah.
I'm like, do I really want to spend money to go watch these movies? Even if they're
I've
getting
heard the new
slightly
Jurassic
better?
Park was really good.
I've heard the exact opposite. I've heard
Really?
that it was not good at all.
Because I want to see the new Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I heard of a lot of issues with it. Yeah, I also heard the new Captain America was really bad. I see. I'm not a big Superman guy, but I've heard that the Superman movie is really good.
Yeah.
I'm not a big DC Comics guy. I'll be real. I liked the old Justice League cartoon. I liked the old like Batman the Animated Series and Batman the Brave and the Bold. But
Yeah.
I'm not really a massive DC superfan.
I like the old Justice League.
Yeah, the old Justice League cartoon, that one was awesome. A lot of the DC does a lot of the TV shows well.
Animated TV shows.
Animated TV shows is their jam. Yeah, we're not going to talk about
not live action.
We're not going to talk about Arrow. I can't believe I watched 4 seasons of that show. What were my standards in high school? I don't understand. A new Batman, a little bit. Yeah, that one actually wasn't too bad. My roommate at the time made me watch that with him. I will say I had to have him pause the movie at the scene at the end with the Riddler where he's like, "Oh, it's not supposed to go this way," or whatever, the one that got turned to the meme. See, I couldn't watch The Flash. I watched like the first episode and I was like, I'm so sick of this writing. This is just so uninteresting. Season 1 of the Arrow wasn't terrible. The only issue is they turned the Arrow into Batman. And thinking back on it, like, yeah, Green Arrow was much more interesting in the cartoon when he was like a snarky jackass. Arrow just straight up made him Batman, which, like, it wasn't the worst thing in the world to watch, but it was very generic looking. Like, thinking back on it, it was very generic.
Yeah.
But, anyways, I'll be back tomorrow with Lego Star Wars. And, yeah.
Be back next week.
We'll
be back on Thursday.
I was gonna say,
yeah,
you'll be back.
Yeah, I'm not coming to the mini game. I'm gonna show up 30 minutes late and win.
Okay. Sweet free crown. Oh, it's a free crown whether he shows up or not. Anyways, tally ho!
Ho.